Oh, welcome back to the Conez and Doe Show, the way too motherfucking hot cast.
It is the way too motherfucking hot cast.
I think we're pushing about 37 degrees in this fucking room. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit.
I don't know. Actually, I do. That's 98.
I better cool the language at the start.
No, I think...
Do you want to get those YouTube fuckers pissed off?
Those cold ice princess YouTube censors.
Because with Doe in the name of our thing as well, it seems like everything apart from other episodes of our show on YouTube that comes up is Play-Doh, like
ice cream stuff.
Yeah, ice cream Play-Doh stuff, and that shit's fucked up.
I had an ice cream on the way here, actually. A strawberry chop.
So to all our 3-year-old listeners out there, what up?
What up indeed. Katie, I know Katie's listening at home. Jeremy's listening.
Oh, that bass is menacing.
Oh, that bass is nice. I don't know if that's legal, that bass.
It's like straight drugs in your ear.
Yeah, turn it down, Katie, turn it down. But yeah, it's fucking hot. It's actually 42 degrees from when I came out outside, which is 106 for America's listeners.
God damn, son. Well, let's get us started. Welcome to the Conez and Doe Show.
Long hot week in old Sydney town.
Melting back into the saddle.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, I just got changed after work, and I was going to chucked on my shorts quickly and stuff, and was going to chuck on a t-shirt. But then I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna go for something a bit bolder. I'm going to get my short-sleeved, shitty old work shirt that's not really good enough for work, and then not even do it up and just head out into the city that way.
Yeah.
So I rock my open shirt, like nipples showing just a little bit of nip up at the Caltex and stuff. I think the Kashmiri guy liked it behind the counter. But...
I was gonna rock one level up on you. Actually, I was sitting here in my Star Wars boxer briefs before you came round, and when you got here, I made the decision to put on some basketball shorts for you. I was just gonna sit here and do the cast with you, just rocking the boxer briefs like some sort of fucked up UFC fighter.
Or what Ninja from D'Antwoord, it would have reminded me of him. Have you seen that clip? He's got the boxers. They're like Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd. Boxers.
Where he's doing the cock dancing?
Yeah, with the prism, and then like
sweet
swirling his dick around and that. And you know, you're a bit ninja-esque, I suppose, as well.
When I learn how to dance, I want to be able to dance like that. So
when you dance,
I think it's Beat Boy on YouTube. Just check out the start of that shit when it starts going.
Yeah. You can dance, can't you? You got the rhythm.
Ninja. I can do moves, but to actually dance, the only times I think I've really danced particularly well is when you're sort of mindless, like on acid in Queensland. I think I danced pretty good at a club there, because then afterwards I was like, I think I was dancing. That was pretty epic, because like you dance how you feel, like that song. Dance the way you feel.
Yeah.
It's kind of true though, but I can't do that because my brain is always so fucking stimulated. It's like I'm always thinking about how you're dancing, kind of thing. So I need something like acid or mushrooms or drinking to a certain extent, but
just makes you want to fight people and stuff. Yeah,
it doesn't work to the same way with drinking. To me, it's like you get to that point where you're so drunk that you can't dance well anymore, but now you want to fucking dance.
I think that happens with everything you try and pursue when you're drunk, whether it's fighting or fucking or dancing. It's always you get to that point so you can kind of do it, and then but because you've done that to get there, you can't do it well. Whereas
if you're not allergic, LSD seems to make you pretty good at dancing.
Really?
I've only had good experiences. So I've had a few friends that have had not the greatest trips and everything, and it doesn't sound that great. But I've had moments, you know, where you're like, oh, I think reality is something else to what I thought it was before. But nothing like, oh, you know, like I've had, some people like of my friends have had some pretty bad trips, and it doesn't seem like the best time. Whereas I think I embrace that mind state and go with it, and you know, it's almost like a holiday.
And end up Jimi Hendrixing on the bed at night, kind of thing.
It's not everyone's fucking cup of tea, but
no, it's true. Well,
no, that Jimi Hendrixing shit, that's straight fucking alcohol.
Yeah, that was booze,
you guys fucking we were on holiday, for anyone who doesn't know. I guess we'll keep the dates out of it and names and shit. But I guess
what happens in this place stays in this place.
Conan had gone to the Grand Canyon for the day, and I'd stayed in Vegas basically. And there was a guy I was staying in Vegas with, and both of us decided we weren't going to do the Grand Canyon trip. I think he'd done it before. And I just wasn't really that interested at the time. Sure. I was like, oh, fuck it. I'll just chill in Vegas with this other guy. And then he got wasted the night before. And at breakfast, he just, like, stood up without really saying anything and just sort of shook his head and said he was going back to his hotel room.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Oh, my God, fuck this. Like, with half a plate of food and went back.
Yeah.
And I had this whole day to myself in Vegas in a sling, just off Vicodin, like just run out of Vicodin, still probably on these like triple strength ibuprofens and shit.
Cool.
And I was like, I'm gonna have a walk around. Went to a fucking liquor store and just bought this like 750ml bottle of Bacardi or whatever they sell it in America, fluid ounces and shit. And I proceeded to smash that for the afternoon, watching ridiculousness on TV and chilling in the hotel room. And I was so committed to this. It was retarded. Like, I don't know what kind of mind state I was in from doing Vicodin for 2 weeks and just being high as fuck in Colorado. But I was coming out from buying the Bacardi, and there was like a TV crew doing some ESPN interviews shit. And this quite like hot like African American lady came up to me and was like, and I'm like this like Aussie sort of surfy looking dude with like I had long hair at the time, and she's like, oh, do you want to be on TV like for this interview thing? And like it was,
hey, do you want to be on TV?
Yeah, I think it was for some swimsuit edition thing. Like, it sounded vaguely interesting or something, but it was something I hadn't.
Were you swole at the time? Because you look pretty good in a swimsuit.
Skinny as fuck with a broken collarbone in a sling and shit.
You look good now.
And then
hot coffee right now.
Cheers, man.
Go on.
Yeah, check the muscularity.
Yeah, you two would be making another Obama. Fuck. Anyway, get on with it.
And I dogged it because I was so committed to going and getting fucking maggot in my hotel room. I think I was a bit like, down from breaking the collarbone and not being able to snowboard, and then we're in Vegas and I'm like, fuck this, and probably lost like, when I was on my own for the day without this guy, I probably lost like $1,000 on my own just sitting at blackjack tables and playing fucking Michael Jackson
pokies. The Michael Jackson pokey was pretty cool.
It was such a good time, but I think it was reflective of how closer to a sort of manic depressive state I could end up in those days, where that shit seems to be pretty far behind me now. So.
Well, okay, like on the surface of it, it sounds like, but sometimes you can have a pretty good time being a solitary scumbag pursuing your own sort of weird, fucked up internal sort of like goals and stuff. So I can buy that, but I did have to save you at some point later in the night.
Yeah, that night I was out of control. What did we do? I think you guys came back. I was reasonably maggot. We went out, and I think with some of our other friends, we went and saw this cool circus show called Absinthe.
Yeah.
At whatever tent it was.
I went to that, but yeah.
Yeah, you didn't. You stayed home, and then I was quite pretty fucking maggot by the end of Absinthe.
Yeah.
With a couple of our other friends, and then I think we stayed because you were going to meet us.
Yeah.
And then you ended up going to bed, or not feeling well or something, and ended up staying in bed. And then I came back to the hotel and just gave you like a furious wake up and
come on, man.
Probably a few back slaps and abuse and shit.
Over friendliness, I suppose.
Probably drinking more Bacardi and shit.
Yeah, but good times. Yeah, I got pretty drunk at least some point in that. Yeah, Grand Canyon was cool actually. So that's a big hole in the ground.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the glaciers dragged all fucking through, isn't it?
No, I believe it was actually caused by the Colorado River slicing through the Colorado Plateau over eons and millennia.
Oh, nice.
So it's a thick strata of rock, and so it's quite high, and then, it's just been slowly carving its way through. There's a lot of glacial geological formations in North America, but I don't believe that this one was one. Just a river slowly winding its course. slowly. And, it got a big hole, and they built Vegas near it. Doug got drunk in Vegas, and... That's about, I think that's all you can really say about the history of Arizona. So. But yeah, Vegas.
Good times.
Vegas is alright. I wouldn't want to live there. It is sort of like, America is sort of like a GTA game.
Yeah, fuck. If I was there the other month, I would have put a bet on Holm for sure. Did you see that shit over last weekend?
What? Who?
The Ronda Rousey fight.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't see much of it. No.
The couple of days before, I was just shooting the shit with my dad in the kitchen, and I just passingly, and it's always passingly. You got to commit to this shit when you get gut feelings and shit. So fucking do it if you're out there and you fucking get something like this. But I was talking to my dad and I was like, I don't know. I reckon it'd be kind of cool to like, you know, put money on Holly Holm. It just doesn't like feel the same way that it usually does, like leading up to the Rousey fights and that. And,
Yeah.
And it was just sort of this gut thing, and like, ooh, she's a world champion boxer. And I hadn't called it at all leading up to that. I thought, you know, Rousey's a savage and everything.
Yeah.
Or, you know. And basically, yeah, she fucking boxed the fuck out of Rousey and smashed her with this head kick.
Yeah, just got her face kicked in, sort of.
And, yeah, proceeded to hammer fist her a couple of times and got TKO'd. But
What's hammer fisting exactly?
Where you sort of come down striking with the end of your fist, not with the knuckles, like bang, bang, bang.
Alright, cool.
So like after getting head kicked and then sort of punched probably, then she's sort of on the ground, half conscious, copping a few hammer fists to the face, and it was all over.
Sounds hot.
Yeah, so that was pretty epic. And I thought, fuck, it's pretty fucked up for Melbourne, like, because their intentions, I guess, were good, but they'd stayed for a long time as this city in Australia where they were acting so progressive that they thought that cage fighting was just brutal and they shouldn't be legal, right? And I'm not sure how long before this one it's been legal down there, but like it just feels, because it's such a big event, it feels like this is I think it is the first time the UFC's been to Melbourne, because the cage fighting was banned. And then Melbourne overturns it for this the Ronda Rousey fight.
Totally.
And it becomes this spectacle of like a
massively.
Woman being totally bashed, and like, fuck Melbourne, it seems like you fucked up.
Well,
you tried to go so progressive, but you went anti.
I think Melbourne's always had that schizophrenic sort of quality in that, like, inner Melbourne, it's very progressive. We've got black skivvies, we're European and shit. And then the suburb is just full of, like, Kath and Kim and, like, fucking... You know, you
I was trolling a bit.
No, it's true. And I'll tell you who would have been at that show. Do you remember the castle where they had to fight against the airport taking over their house? It was in Melbourne, and how the daughter, her kind of fiance, was Eric Banner, back when he wasn't famous. And he was, like, this sort of Italian, like, kickboxer type guy. And Melbourne's just full of those type people. I imagine that's who was at the show.
Yeah.
Eric Banner types, but it sounded pretty cool. But
I'd probably lean towards the side of it being progressive to showcase women's fighting if they want to do it, etc., etc. But I just thought on the outside looking in, it was funny that if Melbourne wanted to be like so super left, they could just keep banning cage fighting.
Yeah.
And then they tried to make a super left move of promoting women's fighting and just ended up putting two women in there, and one of them just got absolutely mauled, and it was like the best woman in the world.
Yeah. I don't know, that whole thing. It doesn't really fit on the spectrum of feminist political debate that generally goes on.
It just shows you that all this shit's way too fucking complicated to paint with your fucking generalised brush strokes and shit.
Paint with your dick, if anything.
Like fucking
Tosh,
what's that Picasso? What is it?
Oh, that the Australian
Picasso,
guy.
but fucking Picasso.
Picasso, yeah. Ooh, that guy.
Yeah, check that guy out.
Oh, that guy looks like he should probably get tested. But yeah, what is that? Charlie Sheen has a UTI. What is it? I didn't follow that.
Apparently, he had HIV. That's news to me as well, but I don't really follow.
I guess maybe
celebrity STIs.
I guess
he said that it's fucking out of his system now. Like, they can't find it in my blood now.
What? The HIV?
Yeah. Like,
what a liar.
He's done so much coke, he fucking eradicated those fucking cells. It was like, take this, you motherfucker.
It puts new light on that whole winning Tiger's blood. Like, I don't know if he really was winning.
Maybe my HIV plus this hooker's HIV will cancel each other out like a double negative.
Sort of like baby rape in South Africa. But apparently Charlie Sheen, he said that he's had over 5,000 sexual partners, and apparently it includes a lot of transsexual and other people. And I don't know, in a way, it's like... I saw people, like progressive people online, being like, here's how we need to talk when we discuss, like, the HIV, as if it's like a teachable moment, this big issue. And I'm like, dude, like, I don't have anything against Charlie Sheen. I kind of like him, but if you're going to pursue libertine excess to that sort of level, like, it's not really a tragedy when you're going to get fucked up by it eventually.
And then when you come out bragging that you fixed it and shit.
Yeah, I mean, Did he fix it?
I don't know, maybe he's got Magic Johnson's number or something.
Did you steal that joke? We come up with it. That's alright. Yeah.
That's that alpha brain, son, as Joe Rogan would say.
That's the alpha brain, but
Because we're not fucking sponoed at all on this cast. If anyone wants to get into this shit, fucking hit us up. We need your money.
Yeah, we'll sponsor anything.
But I fucking stand by that onit.com shit, man. As much as, like, we're not sponsored by them, I'm a pretty fucking paying customer to those guys.
Who are they?
They sell that Alpha Brain shit
Alpha
that
Brain,
I make you occasionally take, and they got this other supplement, New Mood, that's got a bunch of 5-HTP and some other shit in it that's really good for having when you're coming off benders and stuff.
Totally.
Even though that's not the intention, is to keep your levels nice, just as a multivitamin type deal. It works really well for stacking your shit back up after you've depleted it. So.
It seems to give me a bit. And on a similar level, I'd like to thank Champion Legendary Ruby Tobacco.
Yeah, Conez's got to thank a lot of tobacco companies, actually.
It's mainly this one now. The other ones are too expensive.
I'm mainly thanking Winfield for my chop ciggies, bro.
Yeah. Winfield do make good choppers.
Yeah.
They've introduced this fucked up new...
You got to roast them, though, cuz. Get out the chemies. You know that shit, right?
You got
to roast your darrow. Yeah, you can lick it first so you don't burn the paper if you're a bit fucking amateur or rookie or whatever. But I can do it without licking it. You know.
I don't really buy that.
Just got to give it a soft touch with the flame and
so it gets rid of
boil those chemicals off. You know?
I love this kind of wisdom, huh?
Yeah, it's all mental. It's like how when you cough up black shit in the morning after you've been smoking too much, you're like, "Fuck yeah, I got that shit out."
Yeah.
It's not that you have black shit in your lungs, it's that, oh yeah, my lungs are working, they're regenerating and getting the bad stuff out.
Yeah.
So you mentally sort of make your body into this fucking hyper state of immunity and shit. Just
if you're coughing up blood, then that's a good sign that like your blood's like
I don't know if it's good that the blood's escaping.
I'm getting stronger every cough. Like into like an old movie with one of those handkerchiefs.
I cough so hard it's like blood, sweat and tears.
No, you got to get a bit of blood out of your lungs sometimes. I do that sometimes. Sometimes I chuck a couple of leeches down the night before.
Fuck, that was my first downfall and my first little break from chronic fucking marijuana smoking.
What, when you were coughing up some black stuff?
No, blood. I thought
really?
I thought it was from my lungs, and it changed my fucking world at the time because I thought it was from my lungs. But when I eventually went to the doctor, like a few weeks later, after I'd been stressing like this idiot, it turns out that I just had a bad cold or whatever, and I'd been coughing so hard that it ruptured vessels in my throat.
Yeah.
But man, I went through all the motions in that time that I took like off and like was just stressing, and it probably just added to it because you're sort of like taking time off smoking when you're used to it, and I'm younger mentally and not ready to, you know, like now if I take time off smoking, you tell yourself like I'm not doing that shit right now, and I'm not really anxious about it. But back then I was doing it a lot, and then when I wouldn't do it, you didn't have that understanding, and I would get anxious about not smoking crack and shit.
Yeah.
I was so glad that day when I could just turn it off. It was just like, oh, hang on a sec, this is completely mental. That's the thing with pot. It's not so physically addictive that you're fucking jonesing for it. And if you are, you're a fiend, you know? I'm sorry, but you're a fucking fiend because I know, because I've been there. And you can turn that shit off in your brain with hemp or cannabis or whatever the nice names for it are.
Well, perhaps, but let me put this to you. Putting aside the physical things, apparently and this was going to get brought up in any number of ways, so I'm doing it in this weird way, one of the guys who was a terrorist in the latest Paris attacks just smoked chronic weed all day, every day. That was his main thing. It's
like when you do steroids and you're a cunt, it makes you a bigger cunt, right? So if this guy's a massive cunt and then he does fucking weed, he's just a high cunt.
Yeah, but I put
Fuck that terrorist fucking fuck from... Where is he from? Belgium or something?
Oh, he's from... Yeah, well...
Belgium. No, he's from fucking hell.
But I put it to you, and I don't want to touch on it. You've mentioned before that, you know, when you've been sort of like, and had like anger problems or like, rage problems, sometimes weed helps you mellow it out, So what happened to this guy? Maybe he was angrier before, even?
Yeah, like he's fucking unsalvageable. I don't know, obviously, like we were saying with the earlier conversation, shit is way more fucking complicated than people like to write in your news.com story and shit.
I can't argue with that.
These clowns or whatever, like they have a different problem going on as well with indoctrination and these fucking things. Like, I compare things like that. You try and like look at it from your own life and shit like that as well. And I've got into mental situations where when I was a younger guy, like I would get quite obsessed with girls and stuff like this, and particular girls that I would know, and it becomes this thing. And then the more I become obsessed with them, like you know, like it's like a self-feeding process, and just knowing that you can self-program yourself to like someone just by thinking about them or looking at shit to do with them, you know what I mean? Just the fact that you can do that, or I could do that on this little personal level for like, oh, I love this person as a young guy, you know?
Yeah.
That fucks me up, like, because it's like, obviously you could brainwash someone on a bigger level about some more fucked up shit. So these guys that are growing up under muftis or whatever the fuck they are,
I wish I had grow up under mufti. We have to wear school uniforms every day and shit.
Telling you
we
that
only got a
fucking
mufti day once a year.
It's all right. Like, what did this guy do as well? Didn't he? He fucking left his chick there. Like, this is how feminist their fucking movement is. He left his chick there and told her to blow her fucking self up when the cops came so that he could get away.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He's the alpha dog.
When you're the alpha dog, you gotta stay alive so that you can keep helping other people to blow themselves up.
Yeah.
This whole organisation is just fucked in the head.
He was like the Charlie Sheen of Islam.
Go the whole fucking hog.
Well, don't say that. They're not allowed that. But, fuck, dude, that's fucking Islamophobic.
Oh, god damn, what a fucking microaggression.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought this was a safe space, though. But yeah, I mean, that shit in Paris was pretty fucked. But to put like a lighter spin on it, I thought of something which was, funnily enough, and I won't go on about it, but Theodore Adorno, I think his name was a big post-war French Jewish cultural theorist, and he once said as a statement, he's like, there can be no poetry after Auschwitz. You know, you understand, it was heaps recent and everything, and, you know, it's a pretty hectic statement and full on like that, and unfortunately I sort of like discovered like perhaps there can be no Saints Row 3 after Paris, because we happened to just have bought Saints Row as a cheap game, me and my girlfriend, we wanted to play it, and I played it right, like just so absent-mindedly after reading the news and being like, oh, this is fucked up. And the first mission of Saints Row is just like, you're blasting endless series of cops, but in like this funny, jerky way. Like you're robbing a bank, and then it's all like, ha ha, and it's quite realistic. And I just, after like maybe 10, 15 minutes, I'm like, I can't do this. It's too it's too distasteful. And I had to put it down.
I don't know. Fuck. I'm trying to empathise with you, but there's something fucked up I do when I go on computers and stuff. I can disconnect.
I
I've got this German disconnection thing. Like it's just bang.
Yeah. You would have
run down fucking pedestrians in GTA 5.
I'm normally the same.
Just murder like civilians up the sidewalk. That's what you do on the way to just crashing a car and just doing homicidal shit. It doesn't make you a bad person in real life. It's just, and it's not even an indicator. That's why it's so fucking hard with all that shit. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do? It's like when they take statistics from car crashes and then say, oh look, there's like a real high percentage of these car crashes where the person that was in the wrong, in parentheses, was on cannabis. Yeah. And then you're like, so what? Like, how many times did someone not have a crash when they were on weed? All it means is that all these fucking people are on weed. It doesn't mean fucking shit. And like, yes, there's going to be the odd person here and there that's fucked in the head, right? Sure. And like, it's going to get so blazed, and they go, but I have to get home, and like drive 5 miles an hour and accidentally go off a cliff, or like something totally retarded. But that's some 1%er kind of shit, like generally people are going to go, oh, I'm too high that I need to like go to sleep and I can't do it, or sleep in my car, or do something to avoid driving. Or you'll be so fucking paranoid and on about trying to drive safely, you drive over safe and you might get pulled over being slow, It's not the same as get pissed and smash your car into a wall and like run away, like just fucking manic. Yeah. Unless you're apparently this French guy. Yeah. You need a few things going for you.
Yeah, exactly. I guess so, but yeah.
French Belgium.
Yeah, French Belgium Muslim, it's all the same thing, right? But yeah,
we're all humans.
That's what happened, and I guess
not bad for a human.
Not bad for a human, and I guess the one other thing I will mention before I quit it is that there was that big shooting at the Eagles of Death Metal band, and they were playing it up, and when I was reading comments online, everyone
this is all encompassed in this same fucking thing.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Like the weed driving. Like when he's high, go to Paris. Like, no, but I see what that's cool. I almost trolled you in a way. I got you to conflate in the way I kind of like asked you the question, I was almost saying that your weed habit was supporting terrorism. I think that's consciously stuck in your mind a little bit.
Well, I could go into the ways that my weed habit hasn't been supporting terrorism, but I'd have to plead the fifth. I'd have to plead the fifth.
What does the fifth say?
The fifth. F-I-F.
Oh man, what do you say about that? But I guess on the one last note about that, Eagles of Death Metal, when that stuff got shot up, and a lot of people died, but in the comments I saw online for it, people were like, oh, this is so fucked up, and some guy was like, and the Eagles, the band just abandoned their fans and ran backstage. Right?
Was that Onion article?
No, it was a real comment or whatever, and I was like, that's such a fucking insidious sort of comment, because as I first read it, I was like in my head like, man, that's fucked up of that band to do that. Like, I don't know anything about them, but then I'm like, what else would you do as a band? Like, hey, you're trying to be this cool rock star, unless you got a gun, you can't do much. But I was thinking,
and you basically, if you're on the stage, probably like you got a target on you.
I was thinking the one day, totally. But the one person who could do it might be like fucking Chad Kroeger, like when he did it from Nickelback, and they were chucking shit at him in Portugal, and he's like, hey, like stops the band, like, do you guys want to shoot this place up, or do you want to hear some rock and roll? You know,
I reckon he would have solved it right there.
Yeah,
he would have been like, yeah, I like your book around your feet.
I like the dirt that's on your knees when we're in the Middle East. But I don't know where you go.
Make me some goat cheese.
This is how I want to be here. Yeah, that kind of thing. But
Kroger. Fuck.
Yeah, Kroger.
What a racist.
Yeah, do you reckon he's brothers with Joe Krogan?
Oh, fuck. Fuck.
But one thing I have to say, this might also like wind you up a little bit, but I heard the other day it was there was quite a lot of wind. I think there was a big southerly storm or something coming in. It's pretty hardcore. Yeah, I heard that song by the Black Eyed Peas. You know, shut up, just shut up, shut up, shut up. You remember that one?
I do vaguely remember that one. I think I was working in a restaurant with radio capabilities at the time.
Sure. And I watched the clip of it, and it's sort of this big theatrical thing on a stage with like Fergie and will.i.am sort of reenacting out sort of like the way a couple might have an argument. And okay, it sounds so gay, but I'm sort of a sucker for duets, and it had a little bit of a beat, and I watched it and I'm like, okay, like it's pretty, like obviously it's so gay, but they've sort of captured sort of a certain dynamic and put it to this cool beat and stuff like that. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, will.i.am's obviously a smart dude and like knows a bit about music and stuff like that, but I guess the thing is, ultimately all you can think about them is like selling out and sort of being on ads and shit like that. Any legacy that he might have ever wanted as a musician, sort of.
That's true, but the motherfucker had his shit played on Mars.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Maybe it was an 8-bit or something. I can't remember. It was something whack, and they maybe it was through a little speaker.
What song
on
was
the
they?
Mars rover, and I don't even know. I deliberately didn't listen to it because I was like, oh my god, he got his shit played on Mars.
I reckon you were scared that you'd like it.
Yeah, probably really. Yeah. It's all this subconscious shit going on, isn't it?
That's why I don't listen to Taylor Swift's new album.
Just listen to the Bryan Adams version.
Is there one?
I think so.
And then DJ Sammy does a version of it as well too. I don't know.
I think I can't remember if it was the fans or if Bryan Adams copped the shit for it, but he did like a whole rework of a Taylor Swift album, and then
a whole album.
And people were giving like him mad props for it because it sounded all like, you know, like brooding and fucking like heaps legit instead of this like poppy stuff. But like the lyrics and shit are all the same. So like, I don't know, they were sort of arguing it was taking credit away from Taylor Swift, but it's like, no, he just kind of made your shit better. But once again, I didn't listen to it. I'm just going on my fucking, I'll just hate on you and not hate on you.
On your intuition. But I think ultimately Bryan Adams is just a Canadian second-rate wannabe Springsteen. And I mean, you can't really do much. You can't really do much about that. But sort of, okay, do you remember...
That summer of 69.
Exactly. What's a good song? 2 chords, fuck, makes everyone remember it.
I guess it's kind of up there with Life is a Highway, Tom Cochrane.
It's where you can just ride out the end for about 3 minutes, like, woo, a digga, yeah. But I read this article about cocaine today, and it was a pretty stupid article about like Bondi hipsters and cocaine, but it used the expression like, about the mirror, being chained to the mirror and the razor blade. It's like a coke thing. And
I think I've heard that in a song before.
Yeah, it's Morning Glory by Oasis. All your dreams are made when you're chained to the mirror and the razor blade. And I always thought it was just this like, waking up in the morning, like it's this cool And I guess they were just being these dirty kind of like lads and shit. It's probably just about like, getting so cracked up.
I can focus so much when I do fucking rails, mate. I can fucking just play the blues fret thing, just like, so quick, my fingers are jizzing.
Like, oh, Liam, give me a line. Write another song, Noel. Write another song. Write another smash hit. That sort of stuff, you know?
I have to get my heartbeat in time with the song, mate. No, another... play faster.
Play faster. Fuck, if only I could do a Northern English accent where they're actually from it.
What's a Norvie like, mate?
It's a bit... No, that's more Cockney and shit. But yeah, you know, like Sean Ryder. Oh, you got any of those? You got any bickies? Like,
oh, you got anything up there, laddie? No, that's I can just can't get Northern.
No, that's Irish. No, I can do it a little bit.
Maybe it's too much hate in my genetics.
Hey, man, what's with your genetics tonight? So you're talking about your Germanic genetics?
I just assume on that one because, like, there's a bit of that sound in one of the names on my mum's side, but I think legit, I'm just like Aussie for a little bit, and then it goes sort of, there's a French grandmother somewhere, it goes back to Scotland with the surname, you know? It's pretty Eurocentric.
It is very Eurocentric, problematically so.
I'm sure I can claim 1/16 something cool.
I don't know, what'd be cool?
I don't know. Just fake it till you make it.
If you could be 1/16th any race that you get to choose. No, you don't have to answer that.
I'll be Hawaiian.
Yeah, okay.
So then, like, all my hand signals that I'm doing in photos and to everyone down the street makes more sense then.
Yeah.
Because you're like, aloha.
And you can call people hey Ollie and, like, threaten them and shit as well, too.
You're like, it's not bongin. I'm not saying bongin. I'm saying hi.
Yeah. I think bongin is native Hawaiian for hi. Yeah. And aloha's goodbye. So
we learnt that in 2012.
Really? I learned that in preschool, man. Fuck.
What, bongin is like the Hawaiian for hi?
Bongin is the Hawaiian. First day of year 1. Right, now, kids, this is infant school. Bongin is the Hawaii for hi.
You see that orchie bottle in the public bathroom? That's a Hawaiian greeting.
It is fruit, I guess. Fuck. Well, if you've got a bit Hawaiian, I mean... And let me know if you want to take these by, like, you know, a little stage. We don't have to do them all now, but we've actually been getting... And thanks for listening. I'm
sweating so fucking much, man. It's like Bill Cosby's casting couch in here. It's like unnatural.
What does that make me, then? Oh.
Wait. What does that make me, then?
A jello pudding. This heat's getting to me as well, too, actually. But I'll tell you what is getting to people. It's the regular listeners of the Conez and Doe show who are sort of, you know, they're living their lives, and we've got listeners all over the place. And a couple of people have actually started sending in, like, letters saying, some of them just say hi, some of them are tweets, but the letter ones are good.
Props to all our listeners. It's been fucking real.
It has been real. It's been a big journey to all our thousands of listeners. And so when you get questions like this, and they're all for you, funnily enough, you know, they seem to think you would have the better advice. Maybe they think...
No wonder I'm fucking sweating.
Maybe they think I'm cynical or don't take things seriously, but here's one. Hi guys, love the show, especially you, Doe. I'm a mum, and my 19-year-old son goes to university. I really love him, and he often treats me well, but he never will clean his room when I say. When I do, he gets really angry and mad. I feel it's only entitled that while he's living under my house, he follows my few rules like this.
He won't clean his room.
He won't clean his room, no.
Alright.
And, that is by Frustrated in Suburbia. That's the person who wrote that in.
Well, that fucks me up, because it's like, shouldn't the son be listening to our show? But hi, Mum, if you're listening. But
I know.
How to help? Clean your room. Maybe provide incentives, like withdraw food until he complies and stuff like that.
Is that an incentive or a threat? Is there a difference, though, I think?
It's an incentive after you've taken the food away, I guess. But
no, that's true. That's punishment then, huh?
And then if he starts paying for his own food, well, there you go. He doesn't make his fucking bed, but you're saving money. But so there you go.
If he's still living... Okay, so you think...
That's fucking profit in your pocket.
So you think the answer is like, oh, Mum, come on.
Oh, am I helping the son?
Well, I don't know who you're helping, but...
I was helping the mum, just saying, like, starve your kid until he fucking either gets in line Or goes and gets a job, and then you're like, fuck it, he's making money. I don't care about his messy bed and shit anymore.
Okay, so that's what it's about. All right,
messy floor and all that shit.
I
It's sort of like you're getting kind of paid then to do his housework. You know?
Yeah, that's not really fair.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's solved. And all right, do you want one more?
But yeah, right back in. I'd be happy to take any other mother-related questions.
Okay.
Whichever direction they may go.
Mother-related questions.
I've looked up a lot of mother-type stuff on different internet video sites and shit like that.
You mean like Mumsnet? It's like the advice network from mums?
Well, different types of mums and stuff, yeah.
Okay. You mean like good mums and bad mums, or like...
They're always good mums.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true if you look at docs.
Even when they bad.
Well, that's solved. You should be in charge of docs and stuff, I reckon. That'd be cool. So that's... Oh, man. Okay, so that's the mum's taken care of, so to speak. Okay, here's one. Oh, that's a problematic topic, so I might get onto something a little bit safer, okay? Hi, guys. Love the show, even though I don't agree with everything you say. My name's Gary, and I live in Alice Springs. I moved here a few years ago after finishing university in Melbourne. I work in Indigenous education and try and help the kids around here get the best start they can in life. Unfortunately, my political views aren't always accepted on the streets of Alice Springs. There's a group of local bogan youth who have taken personal pleasure in victimising me and bullying me. Normally I can shake it off and I don't worry about it, but last week was the worst. They pretended to be my friend, and while I was talking to them, they stole my wallet. They then took my wallet and drove to Uluru, climbed up the side of it and hid it somewhere at the top. They know that my respectful views of the Indigenous culture means that I won't climb up there to get it back. And they're laughing at me. I know they're laughing at me on social media. They're teasing me about it. I've got a good Indigenous friend called Ricky who I know would be able to go up there and not worry about it and be able to track it down, because I hear he's a very good tracker. However, I feel that asking him to do this would be disrespectful of his culture and not good as a friend. I really need my wallet back, though. What should I do?
Whew. I think this is a question for one of the colleges in America, really.
Well, I mean...
As much as it's an Australian Indigenous issue, I think we could do with some help from some of those pioneering women in the States that are just coming up with pronouns and ways to stop us from making these kind of little mistakes when we're even just talking to each other.
That's true, but I think he's writing this because his colleagues know all this socially just term. He wants to know facts on the ground. He wants
just go for a walk and get your fucking wallet back, cuz.
Okay, yeah, really, isn't it? I mean...
Alright, cuz?
Yeah. I mean, come on, it's not going to kill you to climb up the fucking rock. So is that what we say to Nathan? Man up? Sorry, Gary. His name is Gary. I thought it was Nathan. He's trying to be sensitive, though.
As long as you walk up respectfully, you know? Don't do the Monty Python silly walk and shit when you're going up the side of Uluru.
Yeah, totally.
Just keep it macho and shit.
Yeah. I learnt that when I tried to do it after watching Freddy Got Fingered and had the backwards man suit on.
So, yeah. Fuck.
So he should just get on with it.
We seem to have some pretty epic listeners, so thanks, guys.
I know, we've got a diverse group of people and stuff, and can you handle one more advice question, do you think?
I think we can do one more for the day. I don't know how much help I was to that last guy, but hopefully you can email one of the universities or colleges, as they call them in the States, and
colleges.
They really will help you. They are seeming to do a lot with taking away people's rights in colleges and pretending that it's civil liberty and shit. It's really interesting times.
You should probably just climb it and get his wallet back. Huh?
Yeah. Oh man, it is so fucking hot. It's one of those days where you sit down to piss because even just that pocket of air in the toilet bowl is just that bit cooler than outside, that when you sit down and you hang your junk in there, it's quite refreshing. So
oh man, yeah.
On a day like today, sit down to piss, fellas, you'll get what I'm talking about. Unless you're still rocking the outhouse and then check for redbacks, I guess. But
yeah. We inspected a house not that long ago in the inner city, still had an outhouse.
In the inner city?
Yeah, it was in like Newtown or whatever. Yeah. It was crazy. It was like super unrenovated terrace out the back and
Who's
stuff.
coming in to bucket that shit out?
Oh no, no, it's still connected to like
to the
plumbing
system.
and shit. Yeah, it's not that like empty the shit out.
Well, I guess we kind of do as well. Then in our the place I'm staying at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an outhouse, but it's sort of like this back room that all it is a toilet. So it's sort of the same. It probably was at some stage.
And just shitting on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's terrible. Oh,
and I guess for the well endowed, you can even you can go for a dip with your package.
Yep.
On a day like today.
How full should one's toilet bowl be? Like, generally, do you think? Like,
Are we talking America?
that's the one with the little shelves, right? Is it, or is that?
America have these fat pools of water in.
Oh, they've got the fat
toilet.
balls. The German ones you sort of shit on a little.
So my balls almost float in America.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if my sausage is touching, but
Yeah, they got the big dog ones for us.
I'm pretty much got life rafts going in America, but in Australia we got this little slot down at the bottom, so no, it's just the air pocket.
I think the German ones, you shit and it falls on a little waterless shelf and only slides down after you flush it.
On what? The
It's
German
like
one?
Yeah, it's like a little shelf, so it's like, you can look at that size.
Just in case you want to inspect it,
I think I
or
believe
use
so.
it.
Yeah. Use it.
This one looks very usable, very malleable, and stays in one piece.
Bring the camera and the donkey. Hey. Oh, those Germans. It's fucked how they ended up taking over Europe.
Corn is so vibrant on the camera.
The yellow's just pop. Let's call it popcorn.
Oh, wunderbar.
Wunderbar. Popcorn or cop porn? What do you think?
I'll go the cop porn.
Yeah. I don't know. Too aggressive, I think it would be.
I don't know, like a bit of handcuffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the cops.
But if you learn a few knots, you don't even need them, eh?
Yeah, that's true. That's what I've learned in my many.
Conan is a bit of a Boy Scout.
Excuse me? What
You know how to tie a bunch of knots.
Oh, I thought you were calling me like a pussy.
You're not a choir boy.
Yeah, okay, yeah. He's a Boy Scout, not a choir boy. Which one of those would you... Okay, if you had a pretty 11-year-old son, like imagine how Justin Bieber looked like when he was 11, would you rather send him into the Boy Scouts or...
I'm getting a semi.
The Boy Scouts... the Boy Scouts or the priesthood, sort of, doing like Sunday school and stuff? Which group of people do you trust more? The Boy Scout dudes or the kind of priest dudes?
Oh, dude, fuck. They're both pretty classic.
Yeah.
I'd go for Boy Scouts because they're going to learn more while they're getting abused, you know? You come out of the choir boy shit and you're all fucked up in the head and you're being abused, but you come out of Boy Scouts and I can fucking use a knife kind of and make a bit of a fire with matches and like do a bunch of lame shit. And I got abused, but, so...
I don't know.
I'll take the pluses. There's more pluses with the Boy Scout.
I suppose so, but perhaps the priesty kids, they have some more spiritual scope that they can deal with.
Yeah, but then you can never get fucked like that ever again.
Yeah, that's true.
They've robbed your innocence in more than one way.
Mm.
It's fucking horrific, sorry guys, but
but
the truth does hurt sometimes.
I don't want to sound like I'm lost for words because I'm not, and I just thought of about 5.
I shouldn't be laughing so hard when bringing that kind of thing up. Though. It's a bit fucked up.
I just thought of about 5 punchlines but didn't say them. So, yeah,
it's probably a good thing.
Yeah,
we don't want to trigger anyone that's listening.
Yeah. Fuck, we tackle serious issues here on the show. Hey, do you know there were identical twins? They got separated in their youth. One grew up and lived in Israel and America as a Jew, as he was. The other guy stayed on in Germany. He never knew he was Jewish and, became a fascist and stuff. And they met each other later after the war. One having been in Israel and one having been, a Nazi guy before he knew about the Jews. And when they met were wearing pretty much the exact same jacket. They bought in different parts of the world.
That's super fucked up.
How fucking crazy is that?
Fuck.
And that's why I'm sorry, Rodney King, but that's why we can't all get along,
That is super fucked up. It's sort of like with twins, how usually they get this sort of wavelength that's the same.
Yeah.
From what you hear generally, I could feel it when my twin this, and like you said, they end up wearing the same thing. Yeah. But
when you touch my butt, I could feel it. Yeah.
I think with those guys, it's almost gone to this crazy other mathematical place where instead of just being congruent with each other, they've gone positive, negative, and one guy's gone gone this hardcore fascist shit, and the other guy's gone this sort of straight up other side. It's
sort of that quantum.
And then when they met up again, they might have stopped being all fucked up.
It's sort of that quantum. yeah. Yeah, it's like a separated yin and yang thing, or like in quantum theory, where it's like energy and material appearing and reappearing at different sides. This is like the sort of spiritual, intellectual version of that. So the more Nazi one guy got, the more the other guy, even though it was on the other side of the world, the more like whatever liberal and Jewish he got.
Quantum duplicate spiritual entanglement.
Well,
it's the new pseudoscience.
I don't think it's a pseudoscience. I mean. Everything is everything, like Lauren Hill says, fucking all the time. But, yeah, I suppose the universe really has to ultimately balance itself out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good and evil. Will Gary get his wallet back?
I don't know that it's good and evil. It's kind of, what does RZA say? It's more like equality God. It's the God of equality. It has the good and bad and shit, but it's just sort of like it is.
Like the Reaper comes for us all, you know.
Yeah. But I like to think, I think we've had discussions before, I like to think when you resonate with goodness, the fact that we can only sort of know existence because you can't really even think of an absolute nothing, it's like, fuck. It's like, you can't think of that shit, so it's basically, fuck, track me back.
Fuck, I don't know if I can, the heat's got to
It's a quality God and fucking...
Oh, it's God's preventing you from finding out the truth. He's actively doing it. You were too close to it, dude. Fuck. Fuck. You hadn't had that last kind. You might have got it. Fuck.
Oh, no. I shouldn't have mixed the kind with the swag.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, what can you do? What you going to do about it, you know? It's the Tony Soprano sort of philosophy. That's all I can really say. I guess I saw a drone operator gave an interview to The Guardian where he operates these drones that operate in the Middle East, but he does it from like whatever, I think it's outside Vegas somewhere, and they sit in shipping containers and do it, and they asked him what it felt like, and he said like crushing ants, you just do it and don't think about it. So that's pretty cool. Sitting in a shipping container, like actually like you're playing this video game, just like destroying people on the other side of the world. Maybe it's like that fucking that thing we were just talking about, the quantum sort of karma thing. Yeah,
it's heaps fucked up. Oh, okay, sorry, yeah, I got it. It's like the fractal, and sorry, jumping around again, but fuck, if you can take it back after I get this out, it's sort of like how it's fractal, and if existence is the only thing that we can kind of know, then the negativity doesn't resonate in the same way that the positivity that we experience does, which is like when you feel good and you do loving things and all this kind of stuff, it feels better than when you're all fucked up and only loving a specific kind of tiny thing because you're only resonating with yourself or a small group of people, like these death cult motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But when you do it on the bigger level, it's more rewarding kind of spiritually, or whatever the fuck you're going to say, because you get more back, because you start seeing everyone else as a potential you. It's that consciousness in you that is in the other person, that is in everything you fucking look at. And the more you start resonating with that, I don't know, it just gets easier in your head and shit. And, well, for me anyway, and it's like the absence of that ultimate negativity is a good enough reason in my head to just go with trying to fucking better yourself and be positive and shit. So you can subscribe to those death cults and shit all you want and pull some shit like that overseas and fuck a whole bunch of people up, but in the grand scheme of non-fucking, it doesn't give a fuck about you kind of God that has bad and good within it, but it seems that because we exist that good resonates more. The guys that do bad shit in the name of a little bit of good shit are going to get cancelled out by this fucking majority of people that don't accept it, right? So these dudes are going to get wiped off the face of the fucking planet by the larger group eventually if they keep pulling fucking nonsense like that. And if they don't, they'll wipe themselves out because they're only self-serving this like death cult shit. Like, it's honourable to die and shit. Like, how many people are going to subscribe to that when the majority don't?
A lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Eventually there won't be enough, will there?
Look at Germany. They fucking went crazy, like with just Nazis and killing and everything like that. Like, I take your point in general, but it's...
But I think, like, that shit happens, but I think every regression that stays on this positive shit
good
that
and evil,
our general cultures seem to be doing, it seems to get better and better.
Well, I guess positivity and negativity rises and flows and ebbs and falls and stuff. Like, you know, I mean, okay, I take your point, but once you destroy ISIS, it's not like the potential for sort of evil that was there is just going to disappear, sort of.
Not at all.
Yeah,
no.
it'll arise in another form, and
the better it gets, like, it could go the other way. It could be like better and better to a point where the world's like, oh, you almost have this global system that works without fucking too many people over. But then the ones that do get fucked over get so fucked over in this future fucked up world that we're trying to conjure, that then they become more extreme than any terrorist or fucking serial killer that we can even imagine, because it's a reflection of how great the society is now, that the people that do feel objectified in a society that is like afforded to such a majority, the ones that feel alienated, like, it would be such a even further extreme from now. It wouldn't be these big pockets, it'd be even smaller pockets that are just even more psychopathic and extreme contradictions to, you know, to equal it out, like with that equality gauge.
I do take your point. The problem, I think, is that there's a strain, not so much individual people, but a certain strain throughout people that, you know, an aspect to them that will rise and fall amongst individuals or groups at different times that want something more than just sort of like peace and sort of love and equality and sort of like that. As, like, you know, Hitler, getting it, I guess, from Nietzsche and shit, got to appeal a whole lot of people by promising, like, struggle and danger and death and stuff like that.
And appealing to the love of a big enough population that it felt like a good cause to all those people.
No, I take your point, but it was like, I mean, that can't be mistaken for positivity, really, can it, what he was doing?
No, it's like
positivity for your fucking
for that
people
kind,
and shit. Yeah.
Because, like, if we come to it and go all the way down the fucking rabbit hole and you're like, ISIS takes over the world. Right? And you're like, everyone's all fucked up and is willing to do that fucked up shit. But who are they going to do it to now? You know, something else is going to happen then. They're going to start fucking some other group within the group up. You know, it's always this fractal fucking morphing thing that doesn't care about good or bad. But humans are so conscious, like, in the moment, in our, like, current fucking version, that we're, like, trying to make it better, and we know if we make it better and it resonates for all of us, it gets better for everyone. And we sort of intuitively are on that technological sort of thing and trying to make civilized, you know, it's just make it comfortable for everyone. And
well, that's the idea, right?
We seem to resonate with that as a majority on the face of the earth now, because people don't like to fucking struggle. And,
they'd rather not just hate different people for the sake of it, but if their lives are okay, they probably wouldn't give a fuck about it.
So that's the mentality that it'd be fucking sweet to try and just, like, raise up within the youth of today, or in places that are really fucking finding it hard in these fucked up capitalist times and shit, where you, like I was listening to a podcast the other week about with Christopher Ryan. I think he's a psychologist or something like that. It was on Joe Rogan Experience, and he was talking about basically how civilization and, like, where it started and where it's come to, it's basically a redirection of sexual repression, like sexual energy that's been, like, taken, and it's like, no, you're not able to just go fuck who you want now, like when we were monkeys and you're just enjoying yourself. Now these rules are in place, and it's almost like it's been worked. It's like some point a bunch of people figured out that, if you starve this, it makes them more productive in this way and shit like that. At what point, who knows, but it says a lot from that perspective for, like, the UK, you know, like the English and repressed Victorian kind of shit like that, because as much as you're like, oh, that's so prudy and, like, it's all fucked up and sort of seemingly unnatural to be so, like snooty and, like, against sex or something, you know? But it works fucking well to get your people just, like fucking hyped up for some random fucking cause or whatever. And sexual repression in the really niche Muslim, like, you know, like versions or whatever the fuck you call it, like the fundamental kind of groups and stuff. There's, like, so much fucking sexual repression, and they're covering up the women so you can't even look at them and shit. And then I forget who told me. Someone told me recently as well that there would be, like, these groups of guys that will go to hear a woman, maybe it was you, talk and read from it, like a storybook about sort of this vaguely, maybe not even sexual, just like kissing and stuff in a book, and there'll be, like, a room of these, like, I forget what country it was, I don't want to just mangle it or be racist or whatever, but it's some Arabic country.
Turkestan.
And they're all just, like, you know, just hanging on every word about just this sort of just romantic novel thing, because they're so fucking repressed and they never fucking get this shit out properly. And it's just fucked up. But it works good for building sandcastles. I'm sorry, it was right there. I couldn't help myself.
All right. But okay, I take your point in that. Okay, if I can sort of like try and understand the way it is in that. Well, okay,
and I'm just riffing on this shit as well.
No,
like,
well,
here's
a fact for you to put it into. My understanding is that when Muhammad first founded Islam and it came like expanding out as an expansionist religion, its first 100 years from the Middle East, the polygamy aspect to it, as well as being like, you know, theological, there was a certain basis to it, which was that if like the big dog dude was like, yeah, I have 4 wives now and shit, it means less of the local dudes have access to chicks at all, which prompts them to go in small bands outwards and stuff. So you don't even need a central commander. It means it just prompts them like, oh, there's no chicks here, we have to move on, and that spreads the religion, whether by peace, whether by the sword or whatever. And I guess those guys, those crowds full of guys yelling in Pakistan and shit with the robes on and stuff. I mean,
well, that's kind of funny because then you could almost bind it together and say it's a mixture of the harem mentality of that guy. He's figured it out. He gets the fucking harem of girls.
The other guys, though.
And then he's like, nah, you can't sleep with him. And then, like, the kings in England and shit do the fornication under consent of the king.
Oh, yeah.
And fucking get to sleep with your wife before you do, kind of thing.
I think prima noce or something it was called. It means first night. That was the name in Latin or whatever.
So that shit's messed up. It's almost like it's hand in hand. They've stolen away all who they consider to be the prime women or whatever, and then tell you you're not allowed to do this and that and repress your energy and redirect it in a way that's productive for you and your harem. Like, shit.
But you're just running around in this market with bombs going on.
Now we're talking about fucking 14th century conspiracy theories and shit.
It's just the way of the world. It's not even a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, it's an elephant walrus conspiracy theory.
A what? What is that?
It's some fucking beach in Antarctica.
What's the walrus got to do?
Oh, they rock these fat harems and just
do they?
juke it out on the beach, fucking smashing heads and tusks into each other.
Makes you wonder why Henry VIII or whatever got rid of all his wives, chopping their heads off and shit. If they were that scarce, fuck. But I don't know.
Because he could.
That's offensive. You know what else is fucked? You know how the Americans dropped a bunch of napalm on jungles in Vietnam to clear the bush so they'd have a better view of where the gorillas are and stuff?
Yeah.
An early version of that, when the French were colonising it, is the French would go around chucking heaps of coins and money into the middle of the groves of forest, and the locals would then go in and chop down the forest trying to get it and stuff, so the gorillas couldn't hide. Because the locals were so poor, to get at all the money, the kind of locals had to chop down the forest and stuff.
So they scattered all this money through the forest.
Through the forest and stuff. So then they chopped it down. And I'm like, oh, that's the dirtiest, sneakiest thing I think I've ever heard. And I'm like, oh, that's so gross to the French.
It kind of is, but it sounds like some shit out of a fucking Robin Hood cartoon or something.
Yeah. I think it's real, but I guess it goes to show that...
I need them to chop down these trees, just sprinkle a bit of gold.
Exactly. Right? And I was thinking, that's so disgustingly French and stuff. And then I was thinking, oh, what did my people do back in the day?
Well, just sprinkle a bit of gold.
I was thinking, what dirty shit did my people do? And they're like, oh, like going up rivers in China at gunpoint to make them buy your opium and get addicted to heroin and shit. That's pretty cool with the British. So I don't know which one's dirtier than that.
Well, I don't know if the British genome was inbred by that point or not. I'm sorry, fellas. I didn't mean that.
I'll buy a lager. No, that's alright. Hello to all our British listeners.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think Stretford would have got a few. Yeah.
I am a bit of a cunt. I'm sorry.
Being a bit of a cunt on the internet. Oh, well.
So I'm not sure if I'm pulling it out of my ass, but in True Lies, which I saw pretty recently, they had the terrorist group from Hollywood known as Crimson Jihad.
CJ, yeah.
And this is the part I'm not sure if I'm just fucking making up or not, but in Executive Decision, the movie with like Steven Seagal and Kurt Russell and shit, I'm pretty sure from memory that the same terrorist group was involved, and they were doing this Crimson Jihad shit on the Jumbo as well. And it was making me think that it was probably just these Hollywood writers copping out and like trying to be like, oh, we're not being racist and shit, we're just doing, it's like this actual fictional terrorist group called Crimson Jihad that keeps popping up in all these action movies.
You know what they should do?
It's fucking cool, but it's kind of PC as well. It's all fucked up.
But imagine if they started releasing like graphic novel prequels and shit of like Crimson Jihad, like they did with the Matrix, like as if it was like this whole universe thing. Like,
they go back to fucking Russia and Afghanistan and all this shit.
Yeah.
It's like, the thorns.
You know the main guy from True Lies, the main bad guy. Give me the key, child. Like that guy. He's actually this.
He's full on English.
Yeah, he's got like the most like posh, like I'm a Pakistani colonel's son who was sent to like British boarding school kind of accent. Yeah. But he was pretty cool. I like him in that. I don't think it is PC. Looking back on it, you're like, oh shit. They wouldn't do that these days and stuff. They took over a whole island near Miami.
Maybe they were like, oh shit, like, which one was first? Yeah.
Dude, yeah, that was 94. Do you remember what the demand was?
So it would have been before Executive Decision.
Yeah, I think so. But
so it was such a hardcore terrorist script that they broke the fourth wall and fucking sneak into other movies to fucking blow shit up.
Dude, that plan was to blow up a nuke in a major American city every week. Like, think about that compared to, like, some movies, what the stakes are, and you're just like, oh, whatever, like some cop movie, it doesn't matter. In this, that's what that fucking thing was going to do, and they were going to do it. And only Arnie fucking stopped it from happening, you know? That's the whole kind of story, I guess, of True Lies, but... I want to paddle a beer doing you know, at trivia, pub trivia, sometimes they do Who Am I? And they're like, I was born in this time and and give you clues, and the first person to do it gets it right.
Yeah.
And I want a whole paddle of craft beer, 5 little craft beer things and stuff for getting James Cameron. After hearing, as my parents moved to California, and I was like, I drove a truck doing da-da-da, and I remember hearing that. Oh, James Cameron. I'm like, yeah, got 5 free beers. It's pretty sweet.
Nice work.
So, thanks, Linda Hamilton.
I already apologised. So.
Yeah, that's
And I did watch T2 again, and it was fucking awesome.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was high as fuck.
Yeah?
Chan! I have to go away, Chan.
I know, it's so sad.
Yeah, I was pretty sad at the end.
It makes me wonder, how could this robot, this machine, be a better father to John than any real man and stuff?
Except I found myself relating to the T-1000 a little bit. It was pretty funny.
In what way?
Like, I think it was after I watched a Cinemassacre, like the guy that does the Angry Video Game Nerd and shit review of it, and they pointed out this bit, or maybe it wasn't them, pointed out this bit where, right in the first third of the movie, or near the start, when the T-1000 pushes Arnie through the plate glass window in the Galleria.
Yeah.
And he smashes on the ground. The T-1000 has this side look at the mannequin.
Yeah.
And it's like, it looks a bit confusing, and it's like me and shit. Yeah. And it is almost like there's this deeper shit going on that I don't know if it's just me painting this shit with my fucked up brain, but it feels like there was this deeper shit going on where, like, this sentient fucking Skynet machine, fucking, like, you know, liquid machine thing is looking at the mannequin like, that's kind of like me, and it's kind of trying to figure out its own existence and shit, and like, even though it's a killing machine. And then it's out of that review as well, but the very last thing when it melts as well, it's going through all the faces, and then right at the end it turns into the mannequin face screaming and just dies kind of thing, and it's almost like it's like totally. It is having this existential fucking like, I'm melting, I'm dying.
Can you just type in YouTube?
It made it so much more personal though, you know, like instead of this like machine shit, like this crazy machine melting, the way it looked like a regenerating DMT trip, the way it was melting in the water.
Well, that's probably you just putting
changing faces and changing faces. I don't know. A lot of people get that kind of like morphing, just ever morphing, infinite morphing kind of shit on DMT, and it was like, oh fuck, it was sort of like that regeneration image, and ending on the mannequin, just, it kind of did resonate with like that, oh fuck, he doesn't even know what he is, he's just a killing machine.
I imagine doing
and that wasn't even getting into the Arnie shit.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, maybe it's a good psychological test. You ask the patient, they come in and they're like, in the movie Terminator 2, do you identify most with Arnold Schwarzenegger's character? Robert Patrick's as a T-1000. So, John Connor, the child. And they're like, they fall into one category. Who do you identify with, you know, this kind of thing?
I think I identify with it in this stage of my life more with Linda Hamilton. Like, people think you're a fucking mental case, but really you're pretty fucking spot on. Booyah!
That's alright though, I feel like the black scientist.
Miles Bennett Tyson.
Yeah, Miles Bennett Tyson.
Just fucking breathing.
Yeah, that stuck with me when I watched that as a kid. That was one of my favourite movie deaths ever, probably. It's pretty
Fucking awesome, yeah.
Fucking crazy, fuck.
Oh, back
That's a
before
movie.
James Cameron was trawling the bottom of the sea for mermaids.
I can't find a wife on land.
I keep having to trade them in and digitally remaster my movies to edit their bodies.
Like telling himself, like, they can be strong even if they don't have legs. Paralympians are strong. That sort of stuff. But James Cameron, I mean, you know, sometimes people fucked up. They make some pretty good entertainment and shit. So I won't have a dig at the man. I won't have a dig at the man too much. It's not like he got HIV or whatever.
Like, I don't know if I want to have a conversation with Terry Gilliam, but goddamn, his movies son.
Totally. Exactly. Like, I don't even know if I'd want to go for a beer with Hunter S. Thompson. Even how much I like reading and stuff, you know?
Like, they're on ether and they're like yelling in your face because they think you're about 50 feet away from you. And you're right there.
While he's shooting shotguns in the snow, like blowing up barrels of gunpowder on his property. Like, something crazy, man.
Woo! Oh man, I'm cutting weight for this podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it to bantamweight.
Yeah. You're shedding it. You're fucking shedding right now.
Fuck, if they let me fight girls, I'd be in the UFC right now.
That's alright. That's a good effort. I don't think I would make it.
So, do you ever
Alright, go on.
I can't rip it on you straight like that.
Alright, go.
So, because then you got to put the voice on.
I'll try and
I was at the zoo today.
Just try and rip it straight. Oh, fuck. Alright.
Okay, so I had this weird observation the other day. It was like, you know, high school teachers.
Yes.
I think it's sort of like how we were talking before, how everything's kind of like fractal reflections and all fucked up and complex.
Yep.
But I think high school teachers are like the people that get parole from, like prisoners that get parole from prison, but they just can't bring themselves to leave prison, so they either reoffend and like get put back in and all that kind of stuff. That's sort of like, that's the same person, you know?
Yeah. So I see what you mean. They're both institutionalized, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both depend on the public money being like teach, and in a lot of bad schools, I guess the job would be pretty similar to being a juvie or whatever. So, I guess prison is like school. Is that your point? That school is like prison?
No, just that high school teachers are like the people that get parole but don't want to leave prison. Yeah. Just can't bring themselves to leave, mate.
Institutionalized.
I'm used to getting that chocolate oak and the curry puff in the morning, and fuck, if I could just do 6 months or fucking a year or two in a bigger school to come back to a little school and do this shit for the rest of my life, cousin. I just don't really see the point of going out into the big world when everything you got right here, you know, like a fucking Coke machine, you know. People tell you when you can drink and shit, but fuck, it's sort of like the students and the teachers are just reflecting each other, you know. I got my scotch in the coffee, the kids have got the bongs in the dunnies, you know. So I guess that's how it sort of goes with that shit. But then what would the prisoner be like? He'd be all like, ooh shit, like he can't really leave this prison. He's used to all this sick prison food, and he gets his fucking Dianabol and all his roids and shit so easy in the joint. He's getting jacked on this fucking prison fish and fucking cardboard or whatever you eat. So,
yeah.
You know, like how
and like teachers,
you have to come out to Twitter and fucking Tinder and shit. What have you been in there for like 15 years or something? You come out and it's like, no, you don't talk to girls anymore. You just fucking swipe this shit on your phone, and sometimes someone wants to suck your dick or show you their pussy online and stuff. Like, fuck that, I'm going to jail, you know? So it's sort of the same shit.
What about fuck that, I'm going back to school? But in a way, I can see your point. They both revolve around yard time as well. Yeah.
It's a new meaning to the back to school special.
So what are we to draw from this ultimately?
That I need to work on my stand-up a bit more. I need to nut this shit out on stage.
Wait,
fuck.
Are you saying that?
Thanks, Bid Dog.
Yeah.
He helped me writing a couple of my jokes this week. He probably doesn't need any credit for shit that's bad in the first place. So
just own what you got, I think, though.
yeah.
Take responsibility for your actions. That's what people like to tell me.
That shit was straight mine, dog.
Yeah, nice. That was cool.
Well, that's what I'm telling the big dog, anyway.
I'll be thinking about that during the week, about similarities between schools and prisons. Pelican Bay Primary School and such, but...
But on a more serious note, I guess I went to take a piss the other morning, right? And I'm like, fuck, it's not really coming out correctly, right? Like, it wasn't like wiper fluid, like you've had a big night, you know, with a lady friend or anything like that. It was just coming out weird directions and didn't seem to have blockages and shit like that. So I went to the doctor and got referred to this specialist and ended up seeing this guy, and he was a Japanese optometrist, right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, really? But he was doing this specialist stuff?
Well, I didn't know what the fuck was going on because I couldn't understand him, and he didn't even know what the fuck a Jap eye was when it was staring him straight in the face.
That sounds like a traumatic experience.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's racist or not. Maybe I can work that one out on stage as well.
Why'd you go to him for a problem?
Well, fuck, you know. I figured a Japanese optometrist should specialise in Jap eyes. So.
Just like a piano player specialises in chopsticks.
Hey, no harm, no foul, guys. I like anime and shit.
Yeah.
So,
what do you like from China?
China. I went and saw some ice cream factory over in '99 when we went to China.
Yeah, how was that?
It seems like it made a lot of sense to do that on a school trip. So, find out how they make the ice cream in China. Woo! But yeah, I'm very worldly.
How was the ice cream?
I've stayed in hotels in lots of countries. Oh, what an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, that bodyguard that let you through to China was a fucking idiot. But, what was the ice cream factory like? Do you remember?
It was fucking hot. It was almost like... That's probably
Shouldn't it have been cold in the ice cream factory?
Sweating in these fucking rooms and shit. And they brought out like little samples of ice cream. It was like, yay. And it was like, oh, that's what we did today. You know?
Had mercury poisoning the next day.
It was fucking chronic though, right? Because a friend of mine and I were shopping a little bit at these Chinese markets, and I found a pair of white Timberland like leather skate shoes, right? Like, what the fuck are these? Like... Yeah. You know, like Timberland, the big brown boot kind of normal thing that rappers and shit like. And I'm like, yeah, Timberland. And it was kind of vaguely looking like skate shoe and shit. And I was like, oh, they're a bit big for me. And then we all went to go back to Hong Kong from China, like vaguely international, kind of. Like, I think we were just after it got handed back to China, so it probably wasn't that big a deal. But you still have to do passports and all that shit.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how I did it, but I was 16. And I was like, no, just sort of begging, and managed to convince our, supervising teacher, like, no, it's cool, I'm just going to go back with my mate and get these Timberland shoes from this store because, like, I really wanted them, but I didn't think I was going to, and I was trying to haggle, and then I went away, but no, I think I'll get them and shit.
Yeah.
And she was like, didn't want to let me, and then, okay, but you have to come straight back to Hong Kong from China after you get the shoes or whatever. Yeah.
That's cool.
She let me and this dude just like go back to some store while they all went back to Hong Kong. It was like, this is fucking bad news.
That's rad.
And then when we went back on the train on our own, it's a good thing that Hong Kong's like walking distance when you're on the fucking island and stuff. We missed our stop, went like all the way to, I can't remember if it was south or north on the island. Where would you be going if you came from China?
You'd be coming south back into Hong Kong.
So we went further south you could go on the train line, and then got off and we're like, oh, this is pretty far from where we're supposed to be, and then for like 2 to 3 hours we were like, oh, and walked to find our hotel kind of thing, and just like found a road that was like, oh, that's like familiar, like I think we've seen that on the maps and shit, and it was like a 3-hour walk up the street.
Fuck, must have been.
But I was just like, oh my god, if
you just started hitting people with bamboo and shit, imagine that incident that would cause. That would be
I love that teacher, or pseudo teacher or a careers advisor that took us, because it was just like such a loose fucking trip. It was amazing, and she kept everything really like tight, and like nothing bad really went down. Thinking back on it now, you could just how could you leave your school kids that you're supervising actually in another country and then just sort of be like, oh, be good, sort of shaking your finger and then just leave the country?
And it's not even like it's not even like Belgium and the Netherlands, like something where it's all right. It's like, ooh. But you know what they say, one country, two systems is what the Chinese say. And I think that's what the Conez and Dough show is all about. It is one podcast, two systems, and a lot of insight and a lot of laughs, if I don't mind saying so myself.
Well, I guess we're going to be leaving you guys pretty soon, so thanks again to all the returning listeners, and hit us up at the Conez and Dough show email, conezanddoh@gmail.com, CONEZANDDOH. Smash it for whatever. Hey.
And when he says we'll be leaving you soon, he didn't mean in a morbid sort of like suicide pact.
I meant, sorry, I cut myself short. I'll be leaving you soon because
bodily.
I've been watching a ton of fat chick porn, right?
Yeah.
And I got to go back and get some more because it was only like 2 videos.
Oh, fuck. That's alright, dude. Fuck.
Oh, fuck yeah. You got any, No, I think we've already figured out the music this week, haven't we?
No, well, this is the only thing I had in reply to that, and I think it's suited. I don't know. The author Robert Heinlein, he once said that to stay young requires unceasing cultivation of the ability to unlearn old falsehoods. And I think that really...
Who's that guy?
He's the guy that wrote fucking Starship Troopers, I think, the book.
Oh, was it Paul Verhoeven?
No, the book that
who wrote the
back
book?
in the day, yeah, Robert Heinlein.
Yeah, and that's loaded with fucking politics and shit. Yeah.
Well, so is yours. Yours is literally loaded to a ton of fucking... Think about all the fucking health at any size politics they'd have in that and stuff.
Oh, shit, that was a microaggression on macro people. Oh, fuck. So I guess on that note, fucking put the fork down, do some chin-ups, check our fucking music out. I think this week, what I got, I hit you guys with a demo fucking track from a couple of years ago when Conez and I went on holiday. It's called Living in the Sky.
Yep.
It's about,
optimism.
Yeah, optimism, or I guess if you went the other way, it could be coming off Vicodin, being really high and living up in hotel rooms and shit.
Oh, you should let them work them out for it themselves.
Literally living in the sky.
Well, we're all living in this big floating sky on the circling Earth, hurtling in towards the sun at 1,000 kilometers an hour.
It's pretty fucking scary when you think about it.
That the Earth's going right into the sun. And this is the sort of stuff that we, you know, I guess that's more for next week. There's always more to chew on. I think that's our motto when it comes to...
Yeah, we're going to have to get our science back on and fucking, you know, we're going to have to science the shit out of this.
Yep. As Confucius said, a silent man is a boring man.
That should get some of our other listeners more interested again.
Yeah. And
I think we keep getting the science requests in on the hotline, so...
Yeah, on the hotline. There are some science requests, but, oh man, those advice letters were a bit tough. Sorry for putting you on the spot.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. But thank you for listening and keep sending them in.
Well, what can we say? It's a warm night. We need to open this curtain and let some fucking air in. What do you think?
Fuck yeah, brother.
Let Mr. Freeze in?
Alright.
This week, I think everyone should stay alert, but also open to others. What do you think?
Fuck yeah. I'd say Conan can't deny.
Eiffel Tower's pretty high up in the sky, huh?
Shit, yeah, cuz
See you, though.
See you, Conez.
We were just chilling outside. Now we're inside.
Now we're living in the sky.
Now we're living in the sky. Living in the sky. Yeah, look out your window and you'll see others living in the sky.
Very literal and detailed.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's kind of poetic too, you know? That's what I found. What is so funny? What is so funny? I don't get it. Yeah. I need one of those fucking news guys that pulls it along the camera right and shit. Yeah, basically I'm Louis Theroux meets Steve Harvey. Too far though. Too far. Gotcha, yeah. Yeah. Okay, really good.
Take my drink, take my meal, take my pain with extra pills. Take my slang, take my style, and keep on living in denial. Keep on selling out while the real shit dies in the underground. The real shit thrives in the underground. The real shit's alive in the underground. A couple bucket in and a start oak high. The tangerine haze put the sleep to my eye. I'm looking up wide and I look outside. And man, we're living in the sky. Conez can't deny the underground rose to the mountain's height. You just about froze cause my mouth is tight. Living in the sky is a state of mind. Steamboat day with a Vegas night. Utah guns at the LA riot. Smoke those bathrooms, keep it quiet. We wanna keep on living in the sky. Breathe into the fan. When you took that pipe, lift up your hand. Pack it back up and do it again. Stack it back up and spot your friend. Slinging new venison, know that I got the broken clavicle. Puffin' medicinal when I'm pissy, man, we're getting fucking high. Dude, I'm zoning out, what the fuck's this even show about? I couldn't fucking properly write it down. One more round and count me out. Life in the fishbowl got a bit smoky, blokey, rubberneck and CPT. Hits South Central AVE, and keep on smoking while we drive. Locals getting moist from the Sydney Celtic corner boys. Sorry girl, we only got our stash. Make a voice on the beach, it'll come up hash. Keen at the table, we're deeped up. Wipe my nose and getting scoped out. Drip in the throat and getting choked out. We only do it on the side and live a healthy life, searching for that ultra high. Some guys jab, some guys snort. Make that jump before you die. Take my drink, take my meal, take my pain with extra pills. Take my slang, take my style, and keep on living in denial. Keep on selling out while the real shit dies in the underground. The real shit thrives in the underground. The real shit's alive in the underground. A couple bucket in and a Stardog car. Tangerine haze put the sleep to my eye. I'm waking up wide and I look outside. And man, we're living in the sky. Conez can't deny the underground roads to the mountain's height. You just about froze because my mouth is tight. Living in the sky is a state of mind. Take my drink, take my meal, take my pain with extra pills. Take my slang, take my star, and keep on living in denial. Keep on selling out while the real shit dies in the underground. The real shit thrives in the underground. The real shit's alive in the underground. A couple bucket in and a Stardog car. Tangerine haze put the sleep to my eye. I'm waking up wide and I look out